Hi, it's Jay with TalkingCarsWithJay.com. I'm so excited today. I have a special guest. I've had so many people ask me, hey Jay, I have a teenager that's driving. What do I do? How can I save money? What kind of car should I buy for them? And you know what? Instead of me trying to be the expert, which I'm not, I brought in one of the greatest experts in St. Louis, Gary Silverman with Insurance Solutions of Missouri. I'm so excited to have him in today. He has 5+ years experience in this business. He has built a huge business in a very, very short period of time because of the way he does business. He's a great consultant and he cares for people and he wants to help people. So stay tuned, watch, learn. I'm excited to bring in Gary.
It has always been my passion to help people with cars and give people
Well, we're back.
advice.
And Gary, I'm glad that you were able to come today, man. I mean, I've been friends with Gary for a long time.
Absolutely.
And it's always important for me, Gary, to help my clients out and to make sure that I give them the best advice. But I know about buying cars. I don't know anything about insurance.
Sure.
So Gary, the reason why we're here today is so many people have asked me, like, what is it that is going to save me money in insurance for my teenager, because I've got a 13-year-old. She's going to be driving in 2 years. I mean,
Right.
I can't believe it. Let's just start with some advice that you have, just off your cuff. What are some of the things that stick out of your mind if someone's coming to you and say, hey Gary, I need to save some money on insurance for my teenager?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and I get it a lot. I think the first thing that you want to consider is, if you and your spouse have a policy currently, don't automatically assume that that's going to be the best company to add a teenage driver to. They might, so I guess the point being, shop it around, because the company that you have that presently offers you maybe the best rates for yourself and your spouse might not necessarily be the best company when you add a teen driver to the mix.
Okay.
So, the number one advice I would say is shop around. Complacency a lot of times can, backfire on you. So,
I know that when you have insurance, you build a relationship with somebody, but ultimately it is about saving you money and then making sure that the claim's going to be followed through with, I guess, when.
Oh, sure.
If and when, because.
I mean, that's why we have insurance. It's to put us back where we were prior to the claim.
Right.
And so the financial strength of the company is important.
Okay.
Their customer service, their ability to respond to claims, in a quick manner and be fair.
Right.
I mean, those are the things that you want. And, I know that I represent, A-rated companies.
Okay.
And so what does that mean? It's like school. A's, are better than B's, and B's are better than C's. So if you go with the A's, that typically means that those companies are financially strong and stable, and they can be there to pay your claims.
I got it. Well, that's some really good advice. And when you get insurance, everybody hears about 100, 300, underinsured, liability.
Right.
What should you be doing for a teenager? I mean, do you take liability, and how do you know what to do when you buy your car? And at what price point do you have to do full coverage, and how does that work?
Sure. No, all good questions. The number one thing, Jay, that's most important when you're talking about insuring your vehicle is the liability, because that's your exposure. You certainly don't want somebody in the event of a claim, and with teens, there are likely to be claims. That's
Right.
just the fact. So you certainly don't want somebody coming after, your paycheck or after your assets, your home and your cars and things. You'd rather them come after the biggest pile of money that's around, and you
Okay.
want that to be your insurance policy.
Oh, okay.
So that's your liability.
Okay. So, like, when you're talking about liability versus full coverage, what is it that you should do for a teenager, and how do you determine that?
Well, most teens should not be, because of, what I mentioned before, that there will be claims, fender benders and the like. So, putting them in a new car probably isn't the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because the premiums will be higher on a newer model.
Okay.
So an older model, would be first and foremost.
Okay.
But you want to, still have a safe, vehicle with airbags, and you get you get discounts for things with anti-lock brakes and airbags and passive restraint.
So those things are still giving people discounts.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. What other things can they get? So anti-lock brakes, airbags. Is there anything else that can give them a discount on their insurance?
Yes. Certainly placing your auto business, if you're a homeowner with your home business, will give you huge discounts.
Oh.
Maybe 20-25%.
Okay.
So bundling those policies together would give you a discount.
So Gary, what's another way that you can save money in insurance for your teens? Give me another idea.
Yeah, sure. One thing that a lot of people might not be aware of is if you have older teens who are away at college, and that school is more than 100 miles away from home, let the insurance company know that, because that is huge. It's very, very important. The reason being is you can lower your premiums because, considerably, because the insurance company kind of assumes that, hey, if we have a student who's more than 100 miles from home, they're probably not coming home on weekends or on a regular basis to use that car. But yet, it's still important to have them on your policy so that when they are in town for weekends or holidays or whatever, they can still drive the car and be on your policy. But very, very important, if they're more than 100 miles away, make sure that the insurance company knows that, because you can save quite a bit.
Oh, wow, that's... I had no idea. My last question for right now, and we are going to be talking about in a later episode, or actually the next episode, is the kind of cars, what cars should you be buying for your teen, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. But I want to try to get some basics down first. When someone's talking 100, 300, what does all that mean? How do you determine what your insurance limit should be?
Well, it's a good question as well. The rule of thumb, really, Jay, is you want to have 2 to 2.5 times your salary in liability protection.
So give me an example.
Yeah, so those crazy numbers like 100, 300, people see it on their declaration page and they say, well, what does that mean?
Okay.
Well, what that means, the 100 is $100,000 that the insurance company will pay out per person.
Okay.
When a claim, takes place.
Okay.
The 300 is per occurrence.
Okay.
So that basically, someone who has 100, 300 liability protection, that means that, that would be ideal for somebody who maybe has an income of $40,000 to $50,000.
Oh.
Because, again, using that 2 to 2.5 times rule. So people with higher incomes should have higher limits, obviously. And that's the kind of the rule of thumb on assessing that. You shouldn't just pick those numbers out of the sky. I mean, there's a method behind it.
I really actually thank you very much for coming today, and will you stick around for one more episode? Everybody's asking me what kind of cars should I buy for my teen. I think this is going to be a great topic. I'm excited to talk about it.
Okay. And
actually, if you want to get a hold of Gary, I am going to put his information on the screen right now. Call him, a simple phone call to ask advice. That's what Gary likes to do.
Absolutely.
Anybody that wants to call Gary, definitely call him. He's great. He does a good job, and I definitely trust him. Thanks again, Gary. I appreciate it.